Welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC. I'm Dan Thomas, joined in the studio today by Craig Burley and Stevie Nicol. We'll kick things off with the game that's just finished here on ESPN+. Bayer Leverkusen taking on Stuttgart. We're expecting an open game with lots of chances and goals, but in the end it didn't quite live up to its billing. 0-0 then is how it finishes. So a win for Bayern Munich at the weekend would see them already 7 points clear at the top of the table. Frank Leboeuf joins us. Frank, what's interesting when you take a look at this game, it kind of epitomises why it's so different this season to last season. Because last year, for Bayer Leverkusen, they'd get a late goal. They would nick something just in time, but that just hasn't happened this campaign.
Yeah, there is a mix of maybe self-belief that they don't have anymore, and maybe a little bit of lack as well. And they are unfortunate in. Overall, you know, I love the spirit of the game. In Bundesliga, the energy that the players they give just before Champions League, another Champions League game, it's unbelievable and very impressive for me.
You think you saw those Boniface chances, Stevie? You think, well, last season he's scoring those, he's converting those. You know, they had the momentum, they had the confidence. You always say it's difficult to go out there and defend a title, and that's kind of been epitomised by the way they've started this campaign.
Yeah, I mean, to produce what they did, they would absolutely have to be at their very best again. And of course, when you are the champions, everybody else tries to up their game. And so everything just becomes a lot harder. And right now, even though they're still playing some good football, still creating chances, as we saw, but just that little extra isn't there. And so that little extra not being there means that 3 points last year is turning into a point this year.
Particularly when you left it so late so many times last year.
Yeah,
it's not like it was once or twice. It seemed that it was like, you know, a dozen
every
or so
other weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, every other weekend, particularly in the last 3 or 4 months, last 3 months of the season where they were at the business end. There's not a lot has changed around the playing squad. You saw the chances there, particularly the one at the end, through 1-1, and the Florian Wirtz ball was an absolutely peach of a ball. The header should have went in, but you know, you can't afford to miss those chances. And also, it wasn't difficult to sort of gauge how this season was going to go for them, was it? They were such a big story last year. Bayern were off colour. You knew the pendulum was going to swing a little bit. You just didn't know how much. And so far, it's been a struggle for Bayer Leverkusen. Of course, they had European football last year, but this year it's the Champions League.
Yes.
So it's a lot tougher. And as the boys have mentioned, the opponents are a little bit more guarded against them this year, particularly domestically. So no surprise it's a much tougher season so far.
You mentioned the Champions League. Obviously, they're unbeaten at the moment, and they take on Liverpool on Tuesday as we unveil our wonderful table once again, which confirms that it is second versus sixth. Going into the tie at Anfield, which should be good, shouldn't it? See, there's no reason why there shouldn't be an entertaining match.
Do you know, I really don't think it matters how both managers go about it. You know, for Liverpool sitting where they are, there's a possibility that maybe you can try and rotate a little bit. But regardless, both sides are going to play exactly the way they do, in my opinion. And so it should be an attacking game of football, as I said, regardless of who actually steps on the field.
Yeah, it should be fun, shouldn't it, Frank?
Well, it has to be seen, for sure. For me, that's the game that I already punted because I want to see it. I mean, you have two offensive teams wants to really go forward, go for it, give 100%. That's the kind of football that I love. And, I mean, that's something I want to see because it's going to be indecisive because of the quality, but also because sometimes of the weaknesses that they have. It can be tricky for both teams. So, but to give a prediction there, it's going to be very hard because it's going to be a very much open game.
We're already at that stage of this competition for teams like Liverpool and those at the top that, what is it? I can't remember off the top of my head. 24?
Yeah, top 24. But obviously, if you get in the top 8, it's better because then you'd have to play.
Yeah, so I mean, you can.
Game.
Yeah, so I mean, you could already, some of these teams, be thinking about weakening your side because of your domestic programme, because of how many teams qualify. Obviously, you want the automatic, which is better, but yeah, this could be a. I mean, we keep talking about Liverpool's test. Yeah. This season, they had the Arsenal one, they had one before that, then they had Brighton in the Cup, Brighton again, now Leverkusen. So yeah, it's a big test for them.
So